Welcome back to the 8:30 show. So the verdict has now been released for the Sean Diddy Combs, Puffy, Brother Love, racketeering case.
Hmm.
And yeah, uh, he only got found guilty on the Mann Act.
The Mann Act.
Yeah. So, you know, Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, was found guilty on 2 counts of transportation for prostitution.
That's right.
He was acquitted
But
of
what do you
this.
call it? The Mann Act.
That's
Legal
the legal term
term.
for it.
Yeah.
He was acquitted for the more serious charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. The verdict came down after the jury deliberated for 3 days, and yeah, he got acquitted on those things. So it's only the Mann Act for Cassie Ventura and Jane Doe, which is, I forgot her name, but 50 Cent's ex baby mama
Hmm.
allegedly.
Yeah.
Um, he was denied bail, so he'll be sitting in jail continuously until I think the fall, where they do a sentencing.
Oh, is that right? I
Yeah,
thought it was like this week coming or something.
no, it's scheduled for the fall, so he'll be sitting there what, another 2 3 months before sentencing.
Yeah. It was interesting to see that the way it came down the
Hmm.
pipeline at first. It was like, they're it's about to come out. They're about to say what charges they're gonna, you know, what is it? What am I trying to say?
Found guilty on or found
Yeah,
innocent
yeah,
on.
yeah. So I saw that and I was just like, okay, well, spit it out. Like, I want to see what,
Hmm.
because a lot of the things that he did were just, it just was so messed up. But you have to plead your case and
Hmm.
make sure that those awful things, stick. And they didn't.
Yeah,
They didn't.
yeah,
And then when they said that it was only for what you said, what the Mann Act.
yeah. The Mann Act, the
Um,
transportation of prostitution.
yeah, when I saw that, I was like, that's nothing. Like I
Yeah.
don't feel that it's gonna give him the time that he needs to be in jail for. Like for me, I feel like the man needs to be in jail. And the things he did, the abuse of power, all of those
Hmm.
things. But obviously they found that that was not enough to make him guilty
Well,
for those things.
I feel like the way the prosecution handled it, they didn't have enough to get the RICO, and I think they were using the RICO because I believe with the RICO you have a lower burden of proof with the RICO, and I think that's why they went with the RICO. Unfortunately, though, they weren't able to prove
Yeah.
these things, and the only thing that they could prove was, the transportation part of it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think everybody agrees that Diddy is a sleazeball, a real
I
dirt
mean,
bag.
so okay, all in all,
Hmm.
this really painted him in such a foul light. And
Hmm.
I
That is
feel
correct.
that it's going to be this whole like, I'm good now, I will never do those things again. I found God
Hmm.
and all
Hmm.
that brother love shit, like, don't crucify me for my past type of thing. But like, how long did you do it? I could see you doing it one time and you're asking for forgiveness. But this is years,
Hmm.
decades
Yeah.
of this,
Yeah.
decades,
Yeah.
So it's, I can't, I don't feel for him. I really don't, especially watching, not only reading the test, what is it, not the testimony, but well, yeah, all the testimony that was given, but
Hmm.
that file that was released when she told him like, pay me or this is coming out.
Oh, the lawsuit, the civil case that
Yeah,
she had.
so when I read that, I was just like, what the fuck? And then watching the video of it
Hmm.
actually going down was just horrendous. It was horrendous, and I will never forget it, and it is etched in my brain for life.
I think that video has destroyed his image and the lawsuit because people it's public and it was everywhere on the internet.
Yes.
We even covered that.
Yeah.
I think that also the star witness, which was Cassie Ventura for the prosecution team. I think she was a good witness, but at the same time a bad witness for the prosecution because of when it came to trying to get these other counts, he didn't have anything to do with it for the most part. Like the money wasn't being transferred from him, it was coming from her.
No, I get that, but it's because the money is his.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's the thing. It's like you can't prove it at this point because it's
Exactly.
coming from her, and that's how he saved himself.
Yep.
You know, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't, at this point, it doesn't matter, you know, he ain't going to jail, or if he does time, it's going to be, I feel, a slap on the wrist, possibly, maybe. I don't know, because I don't know how that goes. But, yeah, his reputation is completely tarnished, and there's people that are still standing by him, his family especially.
Yeah.
And I understand that, you know, I get why his family's there and they love him. And, you know, we all love those fuck ups in our life. But yeah, that shit was terrible.
His public perception is over, but
Yeah.
but speaking of the Mann Act, I believe he can get up to 20 years with the Mann Act.
I
at his
feel like
age,
it's not going to happen.
At his age, that's kind of life, you know, at 20 years.
No, I
think
get that.
but I think the minimum is like 10 years or something.
I don't
like
see
that. I
him
don't know.
getting any real time.
I
And if he
think-
does, he's going to do a few years and get out with, you know, good
Yeah.
behavior, possibly, maybe. I don't know.
I think he's gonna.
Is it federal?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
then
he's
he ain't getting no behavior shit.
no. I think he's getting
Straight time.
I think he's gonna get like 5 years altogether. I think he's gonna get time served, and I think he'll be out probably within 2 to 3 years. He'll probably go on parole, probation,
Yeah.
house arrest type
House
of thing
arrest, yeah.
for a while. Then it'd be on parole. Then, you know. But yeah, I think he's gonna get about 5 years altogether once it's done. I mean, if now that's if the judge is being reasonable to charging him with the charges. Now, a judge can also hold on. Let me finish.
I didn't say anything.
A judge can also say, "Hey, since we didn't get you on the other charges,
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and give you the
max.
maximum that I can give by law." I mean, let's be real. That hasn't not been shown before. When with OJ, it was the same thing. I feel like they overcharged him because he got off on the homicides.
Yeah.
And so when he got that charge for, what was it, robbery, I guess it was, or burglary, they went ahead and gave him all the years,
Yeah.
plus 2.
Maximum.
Plus 2.
Yeah.
So I feel that the same thing could happen to Diddy with this as well. He could probably potentially get everything that Mann Act charge can hold, depending on the judge. Is that fair? Is that right? I don't think so. If you're gonna get charged with something, let that charge be the charge that you hold. Don't be biased in it.
Do you think he'll make it in jail?
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh yeah. He's made it this far, and he and where he was at. I don't
mean-
know if he got transferred, but where he was at is like really a really bad location to be at.
How
mean-
long has he been in there?
He's been in there since I think it's been the Braves were in September, so I think he went in around December. So he's been in there about 4 to 5 months, maybe 6 months.
Interesting.
I don't really remember off the top of my head the exact amount of
Yeah.
time, but I know it's from last year,
Yeah.
I believe, or maybe it was January.
I don't know.
I don't know. This year has been quite interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's going to get time served for that. Plus, he's going to get time served for the amount of time he's going to sit in jail since his bail got denied up until his sentencing. So whatever that sentencing actually is, you know, he's got already time in the
Time served.
in the bag. Yeah. So that's why That's why I think that he's going to get about 5 years, and I don't think he has any other charges on him as far as criminal.
Do you think he'll do it again?
Yes,
I think so too.
I think he will do it again because he was doing it when he was when the feds were watching him.
Shody wop.
When the feds were watching him, he was still participating and
But
doing
I
this
feel
behavior.
she was down for that shit.
Oh
She
yeah,
was down for that.
she
Like
was.
whatever he said, she did it, and that's why he treated her
Hmm.
the way he treated her, because he knew he couldn't do her the way he did Cassie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel that she was down for that shit because she admitted a few things,
Hmm.
you know, after the fact, or not after the fact,
During.
during, you know, and that kind of said a lot because that was all up in everything, every
Blog.
no, not every blog. I'm saying like when Cassie was giving her statement,
Mhm.
like it just kept coming up back to back, and I'm like, you know, she was down for it. Only she did it because, you know, I don't think Cassie is like street smart, and I think she was.
Mm.
And she's just like, you know, I know how to play this game. I'm gonna play it
I think a lot of
to her
these.
benefit,
I think
and
a
I
lot.
think she benefited from it big time.
I think a lot of the women were playing it for their own benefit. Not all, but I think that's that. I think that from the beginning, that's where it probably started. Like, oh, I'll do this, and he's gonna break me off this. And then it became over time something more. I think with
You talking
Cassie
about
is
with Cassie
no, with
or
Cassie is different. I'm just talking about all these other women that
yeah,
you heard about being a part of these freak offs.
yeah.
I think at first it was about securing the bag, as they say. You know what I mean? But then it became something different,
The
something
sad part for
perverse,
me
more
was
perverse.
all these people that knew what he was doing to Cassie, like
Yeah,
they knew and did nothing and stood by and let it happen. Like that's so fucked up. You know, and again, abuse of power because he was probably like, I will fucking end you, bitch.
hmm,
You know, and he had the power to end careers.
yeah,
I don't know about ending lives, you know, I don't want to take it that far, but you know, he ended if he could, or if he wanted to, he could.
yeah.
But
With as far as with Cassie and Diddy, I think that was more of a. I'm gonna correlate this to what's love got to do with it. It was more of a Ike and Tina that became perverse with these freak offs and
yeah,
the drug abuse and
you ain't seen
alcohol
it, go
abuse.
watch it.
Yeah,
It's
it went to a whole nother realm of probably what she thought it was gonna be when she did the first one,
yeah.
and then it became. I mean,
And you
it
gotta
became
like
gross.
I understand where she's coming from. She was heavily on drugs. Like this, she had to do the drugs to do this.
Hmm.
You know, and a lot of people are like, you know, she could have left and, you know, read the paperwork. She tried.
Yeah,
She tried to leave, and this dude would find her
yeah,
and bring her the fuck back.
yeah,
Like, that's crazy. That's maniacal.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the Oiler is a real supervillain. The Oiler. We'll sprinkle these oils on you.
Wow. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I
check that.
guess we'll see what happens with them, you know,
Yeah.
going forward. I
Yeah.
thought, I honestly thought by Monday we were going to hear sentencing. I didn't think it was going to be until fall.
Yeah.
Like, that's a long time.
Yeah. I honestly, I was interested in the case until I started hearing that the things that the prosecution was bringing up.
Mhm.
Yeah, it painted him in a bad way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. But it wasn't securing
No,
the
absolutely.
verdicts to me
Yeah.
in my head about what. So I was like, okay, what game are they playing here?
The game
Because
is to annihilate his character.
oh, they did that.
No, I know. I'm saying that's the game. The game
Yeah,
was to not only annihilate his character, but to tarnish him forever.
yeah,
You know, like they did it for the moment, and a lot of people forget, you know, and like people move on, but others don't. And this is something, this became so high profile, you know, high profile case. Like, people are not going to forget about this shit.
No.
And in 10 years, we going to talk about it again. Or in 20 years, we going to talk about, remember when Diddy, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, what happened to him? Oh, he live in Bali or some shit, you know, like he ain't out here. He don't fuck with nobody because nobody want to fuck with him. I don't know.
If he was smart, if he's a smart man, which I'm gonna say he is, because
Yeah.
growing an empire the way he grew it, I'm gonna say he is a smart man. I think that whatever the sentence is, when he gets out, he should just Homer Simpson into the bushes. And
Okay.
I'm serious.
No,
like,
I totally agree.
he should just Homer Simpson into the bushes and
Dip.
yeah, because the reputation is so shit. I don't know if how far he'll be able to continue being a music mogul with the type of stain that he has on
Okay.
him.
So see, that's why I kind of knew something was going on. Because remember he signed off all the like people's hits and
Bad
shit.
Boys,
Yeah.
their
He gave them
paperwork.
their songs back and
Yeah,
whatever,
the
and
publishing.
the publishing, yeah, he signed. I was like, why would you just do that randomly? Just one day woke up and was like, I'm gonna give you your shit back. Like, who does that? And
Well,
then hold on, and then I get that he made as much money as he was gonna make or whatever, but that just to me was too random. I don't give a fuck how much money I've made. I'm gonna keep making money off of it, even if it's cents. You know what I mean? Like, the man is about making money, not giving stuff away. So it made me feel like he felt like he had to do that because he knew what was coming. He just didn't know how far it was going to go, because we can't all predict the future, but we, can tell what's going on depending on the situation.
so I disagree a little bit about that,
Okay.
because I feel like unless their contracts had publishing in perpetuity, that it was going to stay under his empire, they would have gotten it back regardless.
Okay.
I feel like he started releasing the publishing to try to silence people who were looking, who were hungry, who needed the money. But I feel like at the same time, he gave it away so freely is probably because there was no more money to be had. Once your songs are over 10 years old,
No, I agree
if they're
with you.
not if they're not really being played in rotation and
Yeah, for
continue to
sure.
stay alive, then
What are you really making?
your
No.
royalties are slim pickings.
No, absolutely. I totally get that. Knowing what I know now about that, I get it. I just still thought it was fishy, and it
It
coincides.
look, yeah.
Well, it coincides with everything that happened right after.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Cassie came along with her little documents and was like, slam, and then the following day, here's your check.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's just all these things are
The
happening.
domino.
Yeah, it was a domino effect. So to me, it was the beginning sign of something about to go down.
Yeah.
And then what's her face was talking about it. I can't remember her name.
From the group
No.
Danity Kane.
No, not her. Jaguar Wright. Is that her name?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that what she was saying was true, but I was starting to see more and more about her talking about these things. And I was like, why is this popping up? All of the sudden, it was just a lot of things were happening all at the same time. And, for me, it makes me feel like the algorithm is algorithming, and that's why we were all seeing it.
Yeah.
Because of that. And that's why it's, and then people we know watch something, all of a sudden we're watching it, and, so on and so forth. So that's how it works. And that's kind of like, it was just like you said, a domino effect.
Yeah, but that's what I think. To be honest, I think that the perception of it looked worse than what it was when it comes to the returning to publishing. I think the publishing that he turned over wasn't valuable, like, because it wasn't making any money.
No, I understand.
And for it to make money, there's going to be a whole new marketing campaign and all this and that to try and get this into people's hands, into movies and TV
No, I
shows.
understand.
So I that's why I think that he
But you
started
can see
getting.
where I'm coming from
No,
though.
absolutely, I absolutely see that. But that's what I think that
And
happened.
I get what you're saying cuz that is true.
Yeah,
Very true.
after 10 years, with music specifically, within 10 years, if that artist isn't really hot or they're on a slow pace and their
Mhm.
music isn't really being produced and
Yeah.
um, pushed out to the masses, yeah, the royalties start to dip really bad,
Yeah.
and it's a cliff. They just
No,
fall
it
off the
really
cliff.
is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. I mean, look at a lot of artists, they have fallen off because royalties ain't what it used to be.
mm,
And it's that thing where, you come out, you're hot, everybody's fucking with you. And then at that point you think, okay,
it'll
I
last
can,
forever.
no, not that. I'm still trying to get higher,
Hmm.
but that's as high as you got.
Hmm.
That was your peak. You know what I mean? And now it's just straight down for you. And every time you try to make a hit, it's just not happening.
Hmm.
That's why you have to invest in other things in order for you to survive, because not everybody in the music industry or acting, modeling or whatever, like if you don't invest your money wisely, you're going to wind up with nothing or staying at someone's house or, couch surfing because you thought it was going to last forever and it didn't. That's with a lot of things, though.
Well, I mean, look at all the artists that are on those reality shows. A lot of them, their music isn't really going like it used to be.
I'm sorry, but the only one that I see that actually did something was Cardi B.
Yeah, but see that with Cardi B is kind of different because Cardi B came from the reality show into a rap career. I'm talking about the people that are going to the reality shows that have these careers.
That have had the
Yeah,
career. Got it.
yeah.
No, that's all I was saying. I was just
That's
saying, like, to me, the only one that has made it
hmm
like that. They've other people have done shit, I've heard music, whatever, but she's the one that just,
yeah. She shined the brightest, and I
yeah.
get that, but that's what I was getting at. You see these people who had these music careers and they end up going to doing social media. They go to do reality TV to try to drum up some flame on their name. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
To
Another
get them
person
caught.
that did that was Candy Burris.
Mm.
She was, but she was always doing something. She was writing songs for people. She was just kind of in the background. She wasn't really singing or doing anything like
Yeah,
that before she did Housewives of Atlanta.
yeah. I wouldn't put Candy Burris in that situation because I know that she was producing and doing all these other things. Just because she's not in the limelight doesn't mean she's not actively.
I said that.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I didn't put her into that, but I was putting like
I put her into that because I feel that she was that. Like she was just kind of, in the background, yeah, doing her thing, but, not really out there. And she was trying to put herself out there because that's what you said. They're doing it to put themselves out there. And she did that. And then, she grew. And then she met, what's his face? I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I can't remember. Todd. She met Todd and they got married and they just blew up together. He was a
yeah,
great businessman. They do great business together from what it seems like.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that's why she did it. I don't know.
All right. Well, I think we gotten a little
Yeah.
bit off topic here, but
Yeah, so fall, Diddy.
yeah. So that we'll check back on Diddy when he gets his sentencing done. And if you listen this far to our last minute ramblings, please let us know what you think about the whole Diddy sentencing and how everything played out with the trial and things.
And mind you, I don't know shit. Don't crucify me. This is just my opinion. Doesn't mean that it's, like somebody gave me the secret documents and I know.
You ain't got
I
the
don't
secret
know. I'm just
documents.
talking. We're just talking. So be nice.
So yeah, drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this whole Diddy situation and how it played out.
Yeah.
And we'll check back in with this whole situation once we hear about what he is actually going to be doing as far as a prison sentence. Anything else to add?
Peace.
Peace.
Tapasta.